Okay, so today we're going deep on sanitation,
Right.
but not your typical bathroom break kind of sanitation.
No.
We're talking about the sanitation circular economy.
Uh-huh.
So we've been digging through a whole pile of research articles, reports, all about how we can transform, human waste
Okay.
into valuable stuff. Think like energy,
Yeah.
fertilizer,
Yeah.
even clean water.
Yeah. It's really fascinating stuff. There's a lot of buzz. People are saying this could be a $1 trillion global industry.
Seriously.
Yeah. And India's waste recovery market alone, they're estimating it could be worth somewhere between like $9 and $28 billion.
Huge. But, like with anything that sounds too good to be true, got to look a little deeper
Yeah,
at it.
absolutely. Yeah. Got to
Well,
peel back those layers.
see what's really going on. So that's our mission today. We're on a deep dive.
Love it.
And one thing that really stood out to me in all this research was this idea of a shit bomb,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds kind of intense, right?
Right.
But it basically means that, there's this big push for open defecation-free communities,
Uh-huh.
which is, obviously a good goal. But it seems like just getting toilets in place isn't the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. So you have these communities that are now technically ODF, but they're dealing with poorly designed toilets, unsafe waste disposal. And in some cases, it's even contaminating the groundwater.
So it's kind of like we're slapping a Band-Aid on a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
We're not really thinking about the whole system, right? So what's the deal? Is it just a lack of resources? Or is there something else going on here?
Well, it seems like a lot of the funding goes towards these high-tech solutions, often from companies outside the communities themselves.
Yeah.
And, they might not always be the best fit. And the thing is, we're kind of overlooking the solutions that already exist,
Right.
especially these, indigenous sanitation practices that have been working for generations.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
What are some examples of those kinds of practices?
Well, for example, in some rural parts of Southeast Asia, you'll find communities that have been using composting toilets for a long time.
Hmm.
So basically, the waste is collected and treated, and it turns into fertilizer.
Wow.
So these systems they're low cost, they're good for the environment, and they make sense for where they are, but they get kind of ignored because they aren't seen as, modern or high tech.
It's like we're so focused on the new shiny thing
Yeah.
that we forget about what's been working all along.
Exactly. And it's not just the technology, it's the knowledge that comes with it. These communities, they know their environment. They know what they need. They've developed solutions that work for them.
Mm.
And we're kind of missing out by not tapping into that.
And that brings us to another really important point that kind of gets lost in all this talk about the economic potential of the sanitation circular economy,
Yeah.
the human cost.
Right.
We get caught up in this idea of turning waste into brown gold,
Yeah.
but we forget about the people who are actually making it happen.
Yeah, the sanitation workers.
Sanitation workers, exactly. These folks are working in really difficult and often dangerous conditions.
Yeah.
They face stigma and marginalization.
Absolutely.
And, the research we've been looking at,
Yeah.
it actually highlights how this type of work is often linked to deep-rooted social issues, like the caste system in South Asia. And that means these workers are often trapped in this cycle of poverty and exploitation. It's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And it shows that, the sanitation circular economy, like any system, it can just make existing inequalities worse if we're not careful. It's like we're prioritizing profit over people. And if we're really serious about sustainability, we can't ignore the social and ethical sides of things.
That's such a good point. We need to change our approach, make it more inclusive.
Yeah.
We got to prioritize the well-being and dignity of the sanitation workers, value the knowledge and practices that are already there, and make sure that everybody benefits from this circular economy, not just a select few.
So yeah, we've been on this deep dive into the sanitation circular economy.
And it's clear that it has huge potential. But there are some serious challenges that we have to address.
Right.
Just putting toilets in place, it's not enough.
Yeah,
We need to think about the whole system. The
absolutely.
infrastructure, the social equity, everything.
Yeah, I completely agree. And here's something to think about. If we really want to achieve this goal, clean water and sanitation for everyone,
Yeah.
how can we make sure that this sanitation circular economy actually lifts up communities and empowers those folks who are often left behind?
That's a great question.
Yeah, and what role can each of us play in making sanitation more just and sustainable for everyone?
That's something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
You got it.
We'll see you next time.
See you.